Welcome back. My name is Athena from Dreamforge Academy, and I will guide you through this lesson. You wire your first write tool to a server action that's been running fine for months. The assistant calls it, and you get a 500. Your logs show an error named next redirect. Nothing is broken. The action found no session and did the only thing it knows, redirect to the login page. On the bearer path, there's no browser to send anywhere, so the throw escapes as a crash. The fix is a seam. Below that action is a layer that holds the rule and knows nothing about the web. Your tool calls that. You move it out word for word, and you never mark that file use server. This is the rule the rest of the course sits on. Your tools call the same functions your buttons call, not the server action wrapped around them, not an HTTP route. The plain function underneath, the one holding the rule. Break it and two things go wrong. The first shows up immediately. No cookie, no session, no page, so an identity check crashes instead of refusing, and your audit log records a fault where it should have recorded a decision. The second bites in month 4. A second toolpath starts out identical to the UI and quietly drifts. An agent finds that gap before you do. Every app has a seam, even if yours isn't labeled. Follow one button down until you reach the last layer that still holds the real decision but none of the web. 3 questions tell you when you've arrived. Does it read a cookie or a header? Keep going down. Does it redirect or throw something the framework is meant to catch? Keep going down. Does it take the caller's identity as an ordinary argument? Then you're there. Extraction is a move, not a rewrite. Move the body word for word. Improve it on the way, and you've bought a regression that has nothing to do with agents. This is the shape. A database handle, an explicit userid, then the arguments. No use server directive at the top, nothing imported from next headers or next navigation. The action above it keeps 3 jobs that are none of the core's business. Work out who is calling. Shape the result for a form. Refresh the cache. The tool does its own version of the first, taking identity from the verified token, then calls the identical function. Mark it use server, and every export becomes a public endpoint. A function that trusts the userid you hand it would let a caller pick whose data to write. Grep your actions folder for cookies, redirect, and headers. The count names every action that can't survive bearer transport. Check that your new module imports nothing from next headers or next navigation, and let a test assert that for every file under your MCP folder. It runs in milliseconds and fails loudly the day somebody imports the convenient thing. Then call the core from a script that hands it an open transaction, assert the row it wrote, and roll it back. If a guard skipped the handle and used the singleton, it reads outside the transaction and refuses a user that plainly exists. The rule, one more time. Tools call the same functions the buttons call. The seam is the lowest layer that still carries the rule but takes identity as an argument. Your assignment is the seam map. 1 page, 3 to 5 writes, 4 columns, what it does in a customer's words. The function the button reaches by file and name, whether it's already a plain core or needs extraction, and which rules live above it. That last column is the valuable one. Those are the rules a tool walks straight past. Then do one extraction and make the existing action delegate to it. Thank you for watching. Follow along using the course material and complete the lesson assignment. I will see you in the next lesson.